They deserve a bright future, Poilievre says of young Canadians in rebuttal to Carney's pre-budget speech. Well, well, well. If it isn't another day in Canadian politics where the word sacrifice is thrown around like confetti at a parade nobody asked to attend. What's up, Canada Bulletin crew? Today we're diving into Pierre Poilievre's fiery rebuttal to Prime Minister Mark Carney's pre-budget doom and gloom sermon. Spoiler alert, someone's not happy about being told to tighten their belt. Again, picture this. You're a young Canadian. You've got student debt the size of a small country's GDP. You're paying $2,500 for a one-bedroom shoebox in Toronto, and your dream of owning a home feels about as realistic as befriending a polar bear. Now, imagine the Prime Minister telling you to prepare for more sacrifices. Yeah, Poilievre had some thoughts about that. Let's rewind to last week when Prime Minister Mark Carney stood at a podium and basically channeled his inner economic Nostradamus, warning Canadians to brace for sacrifices as his government fine-tunes a budget that's supposed to tackle both the U.S. trade war drama and rein in government spending. Because apparently, multitasking in politics means disappointing everyone simultaneously. Now, Carney, who loves reminding everyone he was a two-time central bank governor like it's his Tinder bio, promised Canadians he'd move at unimaginable speeds. Fast forward to now, and the only thing moving at unimaginable speed is the disappointment meter. No trade deal with Trump? Check. Grim warnings replacing grand promises? Double check. Young Canadians nodding along like, yeah, we've heard this before. Triple check. Here's the thing. Carney compared this moment to the post-World War II rebuilding era, invoking the legendary C.D. Howe, the businessman turned Liberal minister who basically turned Canada into an industrial powerhouse. Noble comparison, right? Except, maybe don't compare asking young people to sacrifice more to the generation that literally saved the world from fascism. Just a thought. So naturally, Pierre Poilievre, never one to let a political opening slide by, gathered a room full of young conservatives and supporters of Toronto on Thursday evening and said, "Hold my maple syrup. We need to talk." Poilievre walked into that room in Toronto like a man with a PowerPoint presentation full of grievances and exactly zero chill. Standing behind a podium literally emblazoned with jobs, home, and hope. Because subtlety is dead and we're all just living in a world of bold font political slogans. He delivered what can only be described as a not on my watch speech. His central message? Mr. Carney, the young people in this room and across this country have already sacrificed enough. And honestly, the crowd IT, up. We're talking boos when Carney's name came up, cheers when Poilievre defended young Canadians, and the kind of energy you usually only see at a playoff hockey game, or when someone says free Tim Hortons. Poilievre didn't just stop at defending young people. He went full historical throwback mode. He claimed today's youth have sacrificed more than any generation since the Second World War. Bold statement? Absolutely. But he backed it up by pointing to the struggles that have become the millennial and Gen Z experience. Unaffordable housing, stagnant wages, and job markets that require a master's degree and 5 years of experience for entry-level positions. Because that makes sense. There's no doubt in my mind that all of you are working harder and longer for less than your parents and probably your grandparents, Poilievre declared. And let's be real, when you can't afford a house in the city where you work, that statement hits different. But here's where things get spicy. Because Poilievre wasn't just there to give a motivational speech and send everyone home with warm feelings. Oh no, he came with receipts, accusations, and a very clear target on his back. Poilievre laid the struggles of young Canadians squarely at the feet of the Liberal government with the precision of someone who's been waiting for this moment. His accusations? Overspending. Mismanaging immigration to the point where too many people entered Canada without enough housing to accommodate them. Basically, failing economics 101 while running an entire country. Now, whether you agree with his assessment or not, the political theater here is chef's kiss. Poilievre is leaning hard into his base. Young conservatives who feel left behind, struggling millennials who are one rent increase away from moving back in with their parents, and Gen Z voters who are, let's face it, not exactly thrilled with the status quo. And here's the kicker. Poilievre's party has been crushing it with voters aged 40 and younger. That's right, the demographic that's supposed to be progressive and liberal-leaning. They're flocking to the Conservatives like geese heading south for winter. Why? Because when you can't afford housing and the government keeps telling you to sacrifice more, you start looking for alternatives. But wait, because this wouldn't be Canadian politics without some budget drama and the looming threat of another election. Yes, you read that right. Buckle up, mark your calendars, folks, because November 4th is shaping up to be more dramatic than a season finale of your favorite political thriller. That's when Carney's first budget gets tabled, and spoiler alert, the Liberals have already admitted they don't have the votes to pass it. Poilievre's demands? An affordable budget featuring tax cuts and a federal deficit capped at $42 billion. The problem? The Parliamentary Budget Officer, basically Parliament's independent financial watchdog who doesn't sugarcoat things, is predicting the deficit could soar to $70 billion. That's a $28 billion gap, which in budget terms is like ordering a coffee and being charged for a luxury sedan. The Liberals need to find a handful of MPs willing to either vote for the budget or conveniently abstain, aka political Switzerland, to avoid triggering another election. Because nothing says stable government like go to the polls twice in 1 year. And if you thought that was enough political chaos, plot twist, Poilievre himself is facing a leadership review in January. So he's out here demanding budgets and calling for change while his own party will be deciding if he's the right person to lead them. The irony is not lost on us. So what does all this political chess match mean for everyday Canadians? Let's break down the reality check. Here's the bottom line. Whether you're Team Carney, Team Poilievre, or Team, can we please just have affordable housing and stop the drama? This budget showdown affects you. If the Liberals' budget fails, we're looking at another election. More campaign promises, more attack ads, more politicians kissing babies and eating local food at farmers markets for photo ops.